Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Good Girls Get Rich podcast. I'm your host, Karen Yankovich, and today I want you to picture this. You're standing at a networking event. Maybe you're sipping your coffee. You're looking around the room filled with conversations buzzing, and somehow like nobody's looking your way, and you're like standing there going, "What the heck?" Right? You know you've got the experience, the ideas, the brilliance, but it's like you've turned invisible. If you've been there, if you're nodding right now, because I certainly have been there, if you've ever felt this, I'm here to say you're not alone. You're not alone. And more importantly, it's not your fault. What you're feeling is called what I call the invisible woman effect. And today we're going to talk all about that because I want to flip that feeling. I want to flip that invisibility into a power move for you and it's something we can control. It's something that we have control over. And if you've been listening to the show, you know that I fully believe that if you don't stand out, you are invisible. So we have to create our visibility effect, right? Because being invisible is normal. It's not a dead end. It's actually a door, right? And I'm going to hand you the keys to the door. So settle in and grab whatever, your coffee, your tea, your journal, and let's jump in because I feel like this is going to be something that hopefully can shift a little bit about how you move forward. Let's really dig in first to what exactly the invisible woman effect is. It's this like quiet, creeping phenomenon that tends to hit women as we move into our 40s and our 50s and beyond, right? It shows up in ways that feel subtle, but are unsettling. Less people are asking your opinions in meetings. Less people are even looking your way in meetings. You're getting passed over for opportunities, being left out of key conversations, or kind of feeling like your ideas are floating in air, right? And they're not ever really getting acknowledged. It's not in your head. Our society glorifies youth. I don't really give a crap about that. Like, I think that what I bring to the table is so many years of experience that can just out strategy a lot of people younger than me under the table. But media, marketing, advertising, they were all focused on the next young face, the new emerging voice. Maybe you can relate to this. I've got a lot of young entrepreneur friends and they're like, "Oh, I just get up and turn my camera on and do videos." I start laughing. I'm like, "Yeah, wait till you're not 30 anymore. Then you need to take a shower, put some makeup on, right? You can't just roll out of bed and do that because you're judged, right? Because we're judged." And the reality here is, the irony of all of this is that at the exact stage in your life that you've never been more qualified, never been more capable, never been more worthy, you're made to feel invisible. I remember being at a really high level event a couple of years ago, and I was surrounded by potential opportunities, clients, whatever, right? And there I stood, kind of listening to these conversations swirl around me, nobody kind of looking my way, nobody asking about my work. And for a second, I felt like I was kind of blending into the wall, but it also woke me up because I remembered that being overlooked does not mean I'm irrelevant. It means people were underestimating me. And I know that. I've been experiencing that my whole life as a woman that spent most of her career and in technology and male dominated fields. People underestimated me always. And that, my friends, is where your opportunity lies. That is where your opportunity lies. It's because it's not just about your value. We know your value is there, right? We have to create that visibility, and it's something that we can build. So let's talk about how this can maybe be your superpower, right? When people underestimate you, they're giving you a strategic advantage, right? When I go to networking events, I don't walk up to people and say, "Yeah, hi, I'm Karen Yankovich. Did you know that I have, 6 figures in social media followers and I'm on episode 300 and something of my podcast?" I don't say those things, right? I walk into the room, I introduce myself to people, and then I let my brand do that work for me, like by connecting with them the next day on LinkedIn when they see all that stuff, right? So go ahead, underestimate me. I am very happy for you to check me out tomorrow and go, "Wait, what? Who is this person? Maybe I need to know her better," right? So it means less scrutiny while you're there, right? You get to reinvent yourself. You get to create that brand for yourself quietly and strategically without people projecting their old stories onto your next chapter. Without people projecting their old stories onto your new chapter. Important, important. So think about this moment kind of as a blank canvas, right? Not rejection, not failure. You have space to decide, who do I want to be now? It gives you breathing room. Invisibility gives you breathing room. It gives you time to reflect. It gives you time to plan. It gives you time to rebuild the brand of you that I am here to support you with inside out without the pressure of all that external expectation. So instead of fighting to be seen from a place of desperation, let's just embrace the quiet as a chance to step back, refine your power, and then reintroduce yourself to the world on your terms, right? So, how do we flip that script that I mentioned earlier? Let's get into the how a little bit. First of all, you need to reclaim your narrative. Your LinkedIn profile is not your resume. Your resume is all about who you used to be. Your LinkedIn profile is your stage. It's the stage, it's your manifesto. Update that headline to reflect who you're becoming, not who you were, the person you're stepping into, not the person you're leaving behind. No more, you want to list those past roles, but that's not where your identity lies. Your identity is going to lie with where you're headed. So you have to create your LinkedIn profile from that position of where am I heading, not where have I been, right? And it's a subtle shift in energy, but it's so powerful, so powerful. So rework your about section to position yourself as a trusted authority, right? Not a job seeker, not somebody that says Karen Yankovich is known for. No. Use language that speaks to the transformation that you deliver, whatever you are. I'm a consultant, like who you are, who you help, and how you help them. That's what you need to, that's the test you need to apply to all sections of your LinkedIn profile. Then you want to have daily visibility routines on LinkedIn, right? Visibility is not a one-time event. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. I like to refer to it as watering your money tree, right? You don't have to, if you got a plant, you don't need to drown it every day. You just need to make sure that it stays consistently cared for, right? And that's what we need to do with your visibility routines on LinkedIn. Commit to one action that says, I'm here, I'm relevant, right? Maybe it's sharing a post on LinkedIn. Maybe it is commenting on someone else's content. That at this moment in time that I'm recording this is probably the number one way to get yourself in front of other people's audiences is by engaging in other people's conversations. Like people ask me all the time, how do I get more comments on my posts? I say, comment on other people's posts. That's how you get seen more than the posts that you're putting out there. And don't do it from a place of obligation. Don't do it because Karen said I had to. Do it from genuine curiosity, right? Engage in conversations you're enjoying being a part of, right? So maybe, it could be your favorite podcast host, jump into their conversations because that's how you're going to be seen by them, right? And that way, when you maybe reach out to them and say, hey, have you thought about talking about this on your show? Maybe I can come on and we can do that. That is, you're doing that from that place of collaboration, not that place of just pitching. Send a connection request to someone that you admire. But the goal here is stepping into your own spotlight in small but meaningful ways every single day. And then step 3. I like to refer to this as the ICU practice. Visibility isn't just about shouting into the void. It's about connection, right? Actually talking to people, start seeing other women, comment on their posts, celebrate their wins, share their content. When you see them, they see you, right? Visibility is reciprocal. So if you've been feeling like you're not being seen, one of the fastest way to shift that is to actively see others. Like, doesn't that sound amazing? Like, doesn't this feel like this is the feminine way of building a brand in 2025? It's not about pushing and hurting and cold DMing. It's about engaging and collaborating and being of service to others, right? Actively seeing others. This is your formula, right? So reclaim your story, show up daily, watch how the world begins to see who you are as you're doing this for other people. So let's break this down into like some actionable steps you can take today, because I want you to take action today. So start with your profile image and banner. Are they modern? Are they professional? Are they reflective of who you are today? Right? These are not static images. You can change them as often as you need to. Take a look at your headline, ditch the job titles. Nobody's out there searching for a CEO, right? Who you are, who you help, how you help them. Use that space to tell people that. Let's move on to your featured section now. So many people skip this section. Showcase credibility builders, right? Link to podcasts you've been featured on, your own podcast, media mentions, lead magnets. If you don't have any yet, then that's your next move, right? Pitch yourself to a couple of local media outlets or some podcasts or create one or do a video, right? Create your credibility builders, create them. They're not hard. It's not hard to create, but it's important that you have them. Make sure you have a daily commenting ritual. Spend 10 intentional minutes every day, 10 minutes. I am telling you, if you do this 10 minutes every day, you're going to be telling me in a month saying, why didn't I do this sooner, right? So 10 minutes, intentional minutes every day, thoughtfully on LinkedIn posts, engaging with industry leaders, engaging with potential clients, engaging with peers, right? Not generic, love that posts, right? But insightful, add your point of view, value-adding interactions that continue and spark conversation. Make sure they know that it's you having this conversation, because so many people are using bots and things like that for engaging with people. And you need to show up that in a way that is showing that it's you and not a bot, right? So you need to, if you're having a conversation, it's a lot harder for a bot to be doing that. Bots are the ones saying, great post, right? So we don't want to be that person or that computer. Do a little bit of a personal brand audit, right? Go through your website, your social media bios, your photos. Do they represent who you are stepping into, who you are now and who you are becoming? Are they projecting confidence and leadership and authority, or are they stuck in your past? Right? Talk to me about that. How is that personal brand audit doing? By the way, I'd love to be engaged in this conversation, right? Micro PR and engage and aim for some visibility moments, maybe one a month, a guest podcast interview, a local media conversation, a networking event that you get a chance to have the microphone at, right? Visibility compounds. So you got to start where you are. So I'm going to read through this list again. LinkedIn Power Play. Start with your profile image and Bower. Check that out. Make sure you're using your featured section. Have a daily commenting ritual, a personal brand audit, and some micro PR. Choose one thing from that list today, not tomorrow, today. Okay, today. So I want to do a little, I get to do this every now and then because it's my show, right? So I get to do whatever I want. I want to spend a minute or two in a little bit of a visualization. So if you're driving, you need to come back to this, but keep your eyes open if you're driving. Otherwise, find a nice, comfortable position and just stay in a place where you can close your eyes and take a long, slow breath in. And then exhale and gently visualize yourself standing at the entrance to a room. The room could be anything. It could be a boardroom. It could be a stage, a networking event, even your next Zoom call you're about to enter. But before you do, take a moment to feel your feet on the ground. Feel the weight of your experience anchoring you, the strength of every challenge that you've overcome. Take all of that with you as you slowly and intentionally step into that room. And notice as you enter, people begin to shift, right? Conversations pause, heads turn, not because you're demanding attention, but because your presence carries energy. Your energy precedes you into that room. It's got gravitas, authority. And as you move to your seat or to the stage or to the microphone or to the center of the room, right, wherever that is, you belong here. You've earned your place. And I want you to breathe in that feeling of presence. Breathe in that feeling of worthiness. And feel the energy of the room rising to meet you. And now repeat after me, silently or out loud. I am not invisible. I am undeniable. My experience is my authority. Let's say it again. I am not invisible. I am undeniable. My experience is my authority. And hold that feeling and let it settle into your body. And know that every time you step into a room, whether physical or virtual, you carry this energy with you. This is your power move. Take one more deep breath. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and kind of come back to us. And before we wrap this up today, I just want you to remember that the visibility effect is real. But it's not permanent, right? You're not destined to stay unseen. You're destined to lead. You're destined to flip that invisibility into a strategic advantage intentionally. Now is the time to act. If you want some help with this, go on over to KarenYankovich.com/call and grab a spot on our calendar. We'll chat with you about what it looks like to get some support in this. Come back to this episode and listen again to that visualization. Listen to it before you're about to step on a stage or open that Zoom room, right? And again, if you're ready to take this even further, send me a message on LinkedIn. Just send me a DM and, DM me the word visible. And I'll personally send you a visibility tip that's working for my clients right now, right? You're not invisible. You're simply preparing for your most powerful chapter yet. Okay. KarenYankovich.com/call gets you to the calendar. And I will see you next week on the Good Girls Get Rich podcast.